For the past few months, my main laser cutting and engraving machine was the Creality Falcon A1. Absolutely fantastic and compact machine, perfect for a beginner. Fully enclosed body, air assist, cameras, everything in there, plus at a very decent price tag. And recently Creality did ask me if I want to try out a brand new machine, the Pro version of the A1. So in today's video, we're going to be checking out what's so pro about the Creality Falcon A1 Pro. And here it is. That's all that you get in this package. The machine itself. Biggest changes? Well, you do get a screen now that goes just on the side here. I'll show you how to mount this in a second. Still got support with the air assist, super important if you want to cut things out. And this machine now comes with a 20-watt module. However, that is not all. As an accessory, now you can buy a 2-watt infrared module. So that will enable you to engrave most metals and those objects that the normal blue diode was not able to engrave. Plus, I have to say, changing the module from blue dot to infrared will take you seconds, and it's ever so easy. I'll take you through it in a minute. Okay, let's wire everything up. First of all, the screen itself, you do have one cable, marry it up together, and that bracket goes into this slot, clicks on, that's it, job done. Now let's attach the power cable, air pump. One of the safety features is the key itself, so if you don't want anybody else to use the machine, well, that key will make that happen. Next to that, USB-C, so you can connect this machine to your PC or laptop. However, you can connect this to your Wi-Fi and run it out of the application on a phone or tablet. Next to that, you've got another USB-C port for some accessories, obviously on-off switch just over here. And next to that, we've got inlet for the hose, for the air support. Another safety feature, emergency stop button. Make sure it's switched off, otherwise the machine will not turn on. And the final thing on this side is to make sure that the hose goes into our air pump. And that is it. That's the whole assembly. It's done. 1 minute, sorted. No messing around, no wasted time. If you are a beginner, I think this is absolutely perfect. But hey, the next thing we need to do is to actually calibrate the camera that you do get in the machine itself. It's on the lid just over here. However, before we actually going to start sorting out the camera, I just want to mention one thing, one accessory really. Okay, this is a honeycomb base that you can buy from Creality themselves, and it fits absolutely perfectly into this machine. Now, what is it and what does it do? Well, basically that will elevate your piece of plywood, for example, off the metal plate of the base itself and will allow airflow. So this is absolutely crucial when you are cutting things out. This will make sure that the cut quality is absolutely fantastic. There's no overburn marks, and it will allow the fumes to be extracted from the chamber of the machine itself. And as we are talking about the inside of the machine, just check it out. The size of the workable engraving area for this model is 268mm by 358mm. That base over here that you can see, that's removable. It does come with 4 screws, and you can easily take this out. For example, if you want to buy the rotary attachment for this machine. At the back of the machine, you do have the fan that makes sure the fumes will be extracted. Right at the back, you do have a light that will ensure that you can see everything, what is happening inside of your machine. And now I'm going to show you a couple of really cool things when it comes to the module itself. As you know, as an accessory, you can get the infrared module. So how hard is it to actually swap them around? Tell you what, it takes seconds. So check this out. On the side here, you've got a lever that you need to press and hold, and then pull the wires up. Simple as that. Now what do you need to do? There's a lever on the right hand side, pull it up just like that, and the module comes out. Tell you what, it's an absolutely fantastic, well thought out and brilliantly engineered way of swapping the modules over. And now you can drop in the infrared module, no issues at all. However, I'm going to switch back over to our diode, as that's the first one that we're going to be testing out. And I want to show you something. Check this out. It's actually spring loaded. So this machine does have the option to actually set up the focal length of the laser module to the thickness of your material automatically. Absolutely brilliant addition. Now, before calibrating the camera, I'm actually just going to drop my honeycomb base in. And to calibrate the camera, you're going to need this card, so we can place it inside. And here we are. This is the Falcon design space from Creality, the software I'm going to be using with my machine. Let's go to the camera tab just over here. We do need to calibrate this. Okay, so you do have camera calibration just over here. Let's click on that. And in here, I'm going to click add. In my case, I'm going to be using the honeycomb plate. That means it's 18 millimeters in thickness. So I'm actually going to put 19. So it does have a bit of room for error. And same here, I'm going to do 17 millimeters. Now we can calibrate this. Press this little sign here. And you've got step by step how you need to place the dotted card inside of the machine. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the pattern as it does say on the screen. And I'm just going to get picture at every setting. There we go. That's our first one. And I'm just going to carry on with the rest of them. With that done, I can press next. This time we need to insert a piece of plywood, for example, the one that came with the machine, and we're going to run this test. Now we actually have to set up the focal length for our laser, okay, before we start engraving anything. First of all, let's do it manually with this plate. Just drop it on a piece of material. Get the laser module, and on the side of here you do have the lever. Pull it up, okay, and now you can shift the laser module and basically drop it down on that plate. With it in place, lock it down with the lever again, and that's it. Your module is set up. However, later on I'm going to show you that this machine can autofocus itself, okay? But now let's carry on with the test. Now, as you have seen, well, the laser actually cut through that piece of basswood like it was butter. Clearly, that is not what meant to happen. Now, one thing I want to point out, that this machine has arrived to me before the official release. So the software itself may not be yet calibrated to this particular model. So I did press the get image, and that's what's inside of our laser machine. And what we have to do is to find those crosses and just go one by one. Click in the middle, okay? Now, because this is actually cut out and it should have been just engraved, it could be a little bit difficult, but I think it's not too bad. We're still gonna get a very accurate reading. I can press complete. And now our camera for the honeycomb base is calibrated. Perfect. Now let's quickly have a look at the screen. So this is the home page. On the top over here, we've got our Wi-Fi connectivity. If you press that, it will show you all the Wi-Fi networks and which one you connected to. Then next to that, when you press that, you can operate the exhaust fan. I've got it automatic, air assist automatic as well, and flame detection is on. So that's another safety feature with this machine. When you go to the account, you've got some information that you can get through the app system. Well, the brightness, when the screen goes off, language, Bluetooth connectivity, time zone, and so on. And LAN, of course, our internet. Underneath the home button, you've got some files that are actually locally on this device. However, you can plug in via the USB-C SD card. So for example, then you're gonna go to the USB drive and you can have your designs there. So you don't have to use a laptop or PC. But for example, if we click on a design, we're gonna open that up and check that out. You've got the all the settings. So you've got engraving, fill engraving, cutting, you've got the autofocus, which we're going to try out in a second, we've got the frame, and then the location of our module. So let's have a look how the autofocus works. In the software itself, next to the start button, we do have the autofocus. So when you click that, it will autofocus itself. However, you do also, as I mentioned, have this option on the screen. So let's click on that and see what happens. And that's it. The process is completed. Now you don't even have to waste time to do it yourself. The machine will autofocus on itself. Absolutely fantastic feature. Alright, and let's do some testing. So we're back in the software. First of all, engraving. As we can see, we're going to go from 20 to 100% power, from 8,000 millimeters per minute right up to 25,000 millimeters per minute. And at the same time, we can do the cutting test in 4mm plywood. Right, and let's check out the results. One thing I have to note, as you know, this was cutting a fair amount of plywood, and thanks to the enclosure and the fan at the back, there's hardly any smell at all, and obviously no fumes. First of all, engraving, we went right up to 25,000 millimeters per minute, 100% power, 80% power. That's not too bad at all. I think we can establish that this is our line there. 40% for 12,000, 60% for 16,000, and so on. Very nice and solid performance. And yes, at 8,000 millimeters per minute, 100% power, that is super deep. So yeah, overall, very good. And now the cutting capabilities. Let's have a look. That's coming out, and that stays. So 4mm plywood, we managed to get 400 millimeters per minute, 100% power. At the back, now there's no more signs. So yeah, again, for 20 watts, that's very good going. Let's now check out 6mm plywood. And that's what we've got. We managed to get a clean cut at 80% power, 200 millimeters per minute. That is done. The rest is nice and stably sitting inside of this block. But hey, that is very good performance. Now let's have a look if we can cut through 3mm black acrylic. This time I'm gonna go for 200 millimeters per minute and 100% power. And as to be expected, there was no issues at all. And to be absolutely honest with you, I think we could go far quicker than 200 millimeters per minute. Beautiful, clean and crisp edge as well. Now it's time to check out the engraving capabilities. Okay, I've got a piece of plywood installed inside of the machine. And how about the settings over here? Well, let's go at something a little bit quicker. We're going to go 12,000 millimeters per minute, and let's say 80% power. We'll see how that goes and what type of performance and outcome we can expect from this machine. Well, that's definitely way too dark, so we used way too much power. At 80%, I probably would go with about 40 or 50%. Tell you what, let's give it another go with less power and maybe a bit more speed. So I'm going to go with 13,000 millimeters per minute and 50% power. And I can see straight away what a difference. Check that out. Absolutely beautiful engraving, full of detail, superb quality. And that just proves the point of, you know, change the settings just a little bit, see what works for you, as there's so much you can achieve with a 20 watt module like this one. And it only took about 12 minutes to actually engrave. Super cool. I've got this nice cookie here, and I'm going to try to do a deeper engravement in this. This time the settings are 2000 millimeters per minute and 40% power for that deeper engraving. And check this out. This looks absolutely remarkable, and have a look how deep that is. Absolutely stunning. Tell you what, with this you can actually do some stamps if you wanted to. Absolutely superb. Looks amazing. Now it's time for a piece of slate. We're gonna go for 2000 millimeters per minute, 60% power. And yes, it managed to engrave it with no issues at all. Let me just clean it out a little bit. And there you go. With those settings, this actually went quite deep. And remember, depending on what settings you're gonna do, you can get different colors on slate as well. I do have this sheet of aluminium coated in this black beautiful color. Let's engrave something on that. This time the settings will be 10,000 millimeters per minute, 40% power. Now that's the result of the graphic. I think that came out really good. But now I'm just going to give you a quick comparison when you actually invert the graphic and engrave on black surface. Check this out. That looks so much better. So remember, if you are engraving a graphic on a black surface, make sure to invert the graphic itself. You're going to have far more detail, and that just looks absolutely stunning. I've got one more test. I've got artificial leather. We're going to try to engrave it and maybe cut it as well. We'll see how it goes. However, I'm absolutely loving the autofocus. It saves so much time and hassle. You don't have to do anything, just press a button and it's there. Brilliant feature. But hey, let's get this leather engraved and cut to the right size. The settings here for engraving, 10,000 millimeters per minute, 30% power, whereas for cutting, 200 millimeters per minute, 100% power. Let's see how it goes. And that is done, about 3 minutes, and look at that. Yeah, it's about 2 millimeters in thickness, artificial leather, and it managed to cut through it, no issues at all. We probably could go a little bit faster, and yeah, beautiful, really cool engravement, cutting capabilities as well. Right, now it's time for the 2-watt infrared laser, and we'll engrave some metals. We'll see how that goes. The process, as you've seen at the beginning of the video, it's so simple and quick. Release the cables, release the lever, module comes up, infrared goes in, lock it down, wires go back on, and that's it. How quick is that? Absolutely amazing. Tell you what, I do have this coin. It's made from metal. Let's have a look if we're gonna be able to engrave this. And there you go. I'm not sure if my camera can catch it correctly. There's loads of detail on this. It looks pretty damn cool. And this is just normal mild steel. Now let's have a look. Aluminium card, painted in this nice black color. Okay, I think the end result is again very, very nice. Look at that. We could probably go a little bit faster on this one, but yeah, very nice, crisp edges, great performance. As you can see, this machine is definitely very capable. Now the 2-watt infrared laser, that's an option, accessory you can actually purchase for this machine if you do have the need for engraving metal surfaces. However, it's only 2 watts, so the timing, you know, with 200 millimeters per minute or 300 millimeters per minute, depending on the size of your project and density of it, it will take a bit of time. However, I want to show you one more feature that this machine has and actually shares with the base model as well. So let's make a quick project. From Creality, you can purchase materials. Okay, I've got some basswood over here, I've got some acrylic sheets in different type of colors, and they do come with these cards with a barcode. Okay, that will tell the machine what material you're actually trying to use, and it will give you the best settings for that said material. Check this out. First of all, I'm just gonna put the piece of basswood inside, just like so. And I'm going to drop the card more or less somewhere in the middle. Now in the camera tab, I'm going to take a photo. As you can see, we've got the material and our card, and now just going to slightly lift the lid. And there you go, automatic material identification. Basswood thickness 3mm. Yes, please. Let's apply all the settings. So for example, fill engraving 5000mm per minute, 30% power. However, for my project, I actually want to cut it out. And there you go, 500mm per minute, 100% power. And check this out, the drop down box already changed it automatically to basswood. And this is our quick project. I've got this lovely flower. It's gonna have 2 layers. Okay, we're gonna cut that out on the basswood over here. However, the flower head itself, that's gonna be made with some colored acrylic. I think red or maybe yellow will be quite nice. And I'm going to use the settings that the machine gave us. 500mm per minute, 100% power. Let's cut these out. And that's it. Few minutes. Our cutout is done. 500mm per minute, 100% power. Okay, so that's going to be the base. That's going to be the top. Now it's time for the acrylic. And again, I'm going to use the card for the machine to tell me what are the best settings for the acrylic. And check this out, we've got beautiful friction fit. You can add a bit of CA glue to hold it in place, and just like that, in a few minutes we've got a beautiful flower with acrylic inlay. Check that out, absolutely stunning. To quickly summarize what you're getting extra in the Pro version versus the normal version, well, first of all, it's the stronger module, 20 watts, and it comes with a fantastic ability to quickly swap over the modules to, for example, the extra accessory you can get, the infrared module as well. Next, you've got autofocusing. That feature alone is absolutely fantastic. And finally, you do get the onboard screen now, so you can operate the machine like that as well. So these are the key features that take this apart from the base model. Is it worth it? It all depends what you want from your machine. If you need a little bit more power so you can do your projects a bit quicker, then the answer is fairly clear. If you are a beginner and want to start your adventure with laser working, the autofocus feature is definitely a must. It can't get any simpler than that. So overall, fantastic machine to start off with if you are in the market for your first laser. However, if you're looking to upgrade your existing machine or actually expand your business by another machine, well, this is fully enclosed, no fumes will get out, and yeah, it just delivers on the quality. If you are interested in this machine, I'm going to drop some links down below in the description of this video, but also I'm going to include a link to my video of the base model so you can compare both of them as well if you wanted to. Now, the best thing is this will not cost you an arm and a leg. However, the price will be different depending on where you live in the world. So just check out the link that's in the description of this video. If you do have any more questions about this machine, you know where the comment section is. And at this point, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for the ongoing support. And before you go, check out these 2 cool playlists. Fantastic videos already waiting for you there. Click on those and maybe you'll find your next video to watch. However, for today, guys, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.